Welcome to Always Analog, where we celebrate the beauty of analog technology in the real world. You know what? Let's write some letters. So here we are in the midst of this battle of the coronavirus, COVID, and we are all feeling pretty isolated. And yes, we are fortunate to live in a time where it is easy to connect with people through email and through Zoom and through texting and Messenger and all these other avenues. But you know what? I have found that this is a good time while I'm home and while I have the time and the forethought to write letters. And what a great way for me to, one, not feel as isolated, and two, to connect with somebody who, when they get it a few days later, also feel less isolated. So it's a perfect time to write somebody and send somebody a letter. And yes, it doesn't have the immediacy of a text or an email or something like that, or FaceTime, but you know what? Getting something handwritten is very special. And for many people, it may have been a long time since you wrote a letter. So, letter writing. What to do? Well, first of all, think about somebody who would really appreciate hearing from you and getting a letter in the mail. Or maybe somebody you haven't connected with in a long time. Someone special, a friend, an acquaintance, a relative, a cousin, somebody who maybe you don't have regular contact with, is not somebody that you text with on a regular basis. Maybe an older person. You know, our seniors out there certainly grew up in a time where letter writing was the norm, and it is something that has sort of faded away, and they would love to get a handwritten letter in the mail. Now, what do I say? Well, you can say whatever you want. You can say what you might say in an email or a text, but writing a letter gives you a chance to express it in a fuller way. And please don't feel like you need to fill out a whole 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. There are so many things. I'll bet you if you look around your house, you've got all kinds of paper that you can write on. If you don't want to write on something like this, you can, and this is like from the dollar store, you can go and if you don't have it, and just a tablet, a little writing tablet like this, and you can get it with lines, you can have it completely without lines, a sheet like this, or, you know, some people prefer more of a grid. Or if you don't think you have that much to say, or you just want to say, hi, I'm thinking of you, I hope that you're well, I hope that you're safe, I just wanted to reach out and say hello and wish you the best, then you know what? Here, send a postcard. Look at this. Put your address here, put your message here, put your stamp here. That's it. 2 lines. Or, you know what? Maybe you've got little note cards lying around, like I always keep. I love stuff with typewriters on them because I collect typewriters. But here's just a, just a blank little note card 5 or 6 lines. That's it. I mean, how easy is that? So don't feel pressured that you have to write a novel to somebody. You can just keep it short and sweet with a postcard or a note card, or, you know, a little half sheet of paper if that is more to your liking. But people also sometimes, because we have really conditioned ourselves to use our phones and tablets and computers, what about, how's your handwriting, everybody? How is it? Are you worried that your handwriting might not be good enough? You know what? Don't worry about it. I mean, the person who's receiving your letter, of course, has to be able to read it. So that's important. So you know what? Just try to write slowly. When you write slowly, it gives you better control of the pen or the pencil, whatever you happen to use. Or you know what? If you think your cursive is not good, and we don't emphasize cursive handwriting much anymore, and that bothers me to no end, and we'll talk more about that on this channel in the months ahead. Print. You don't have to use cursive, but if you like to, you can. Print it, write it, however. You can use a pen. Doesn't have to be a fancy fountain pen or expensive pen. I use a Bic Crystal, or you know what? If you're worried about making mistakes, go ahead and you can write with a pencil. And that way you can erase. And believe me, I've written plenty of letters in pencil. Nobody cares. You know what they care about? That they got this beautiful letter from you. That's what really, really matters. So, you know, use whatever's most comfortable for you, but just do it. Make sure you have their address. That's a must. And you need to have their address. So you want to address, and you want to make sure you have an envelope to put it in, unless you're using a postcard or something like that, or often these note cards come with their own envelopes. You're going to need a stamp. So, you know, now the stamps are what they call forever. If your stamp says forever on it, then it's enough postage to send a letter, regardless of what the current postal rate might be. And it's fun. I love buying commemorative stamps and having all kinds of fun. There's some great stamps that the post office puts out. And you can buy your stamps online, by the way, at United States Postal Service.com. You can, and they'll mail them to your house. It's wonderful. So you'll need a stamp. And then, as we're isolated and sitting all day in our houses, secluded, you know what? Take your letter, take your postcard, whatever it is, and go out and walk to your mailbox, whichever one is closest. Or if you want to get a good walk in, pick one that's a few blocks away and walk to the mailbox and drop your letter. And then I'll give you a little exercise, a little fresh air, a chance to get out of the house and see that the world is still there, and it will still be there when all this is over. But in the meantime, send somebody a letter, put a stamp on it, put the address, put your return address, put it in the mail, and you're going to make someone very happy. What a nice surprise to get a handwritten letter. So I wish you all well. I hope you are all staying safe and feeling good. And we'll see you again soon here on Always Analog.